The question, how do I manage time in CAT? In CAT, you get 70 minutes each for 2 sections: QA, Quantitative Ability and VA, Verbal Ability. There are 30 questions in each section. QA will contain DI question set and VA will contain LR question set. The LR, Logical Reasoning, and DI, Data Interpretation, question sets will contain 9 to 10 questions each. Normally there will be 3 passages, 1 easy, 1 medium and 1 hard, in each question set. Now, LR and DI are considered to be the most trickiest question sets. Typically, you cannot answer the second question in the passage unless you do the first question right. You risk your time in getting the maximum number of questions right in the passage. If you are not able to attempt the passage, you will be wasting time. If you attempted and got the first one wrong, there is a good possibility that you might get the others wrong. Hence, these passages always lead to high return that involves high risk. The strategy that I employed during the test was to ensure I had sufficient time for both the sections. I allotted 25 minutes each to DI and LR question sets. That gave me 8 to 9 minutes per passage. I would answer as many questions I can in one passage in this given time and move on to next passage. If I have completed one passage quickly, then I would still move on to other questions and not go back to the passage. The reason is simple. If I was not able to solve the passage in that 9 or 10 minutes that I have spent on it, I might not be able to solve it in 1 or 2 minutes that I get extra after solving the other 2 passages in those 25 minutes. I would try to attempt the other questions, and only when I am confident that I have attempted all the questions that I can solve, I will go back to the passage. You can follow the same strategy for RC, reading comprehension, as this question set will also contain 3 passages with 10 questions typically. Devote rest of the time to general mathematics and grammar questions. Keep in mind that you must have time to go through all the questions when solving general mathematics questions and not give up on any number of questions that you might have answered. Most of these questions should not take more than 3 minutes. Trust me, that is the maximum it can get. Many questions can be solved within 2 minutes each. Just believe in yourself that you can solve the question. Do not guess when attempting grammar-related questions. Do not take more time in reading statements or options repeatedly. You either know it or do not know it. If you are hung up with 2 options and do not want to choose, move on to next question and come back to that question only if you have time in the end. You might be getting enough time to think then. Hope this helps. Practice a lot of mock tests. Get acquainted with the question sets and know your strengths and weaknesses. Get over your weaknesses by practicing more questions in that area. Make sure you give enough time in the examination to attempt questions in the areas where your strength lies. The key to crack CAT is maximizing your score and avoiding mistakes.